1 second, and we should be good to go. TJ, can you say something for us real quick, just to make sure?
Yes, I can.
Good. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, TJ here is a veteran world builder. He's been on World Anvil since around 2017, which is the beta, so that's quite a while. That time he's written many fantastic articles, primarily in the world of Melior. For a time, he's also been a part of the World Anvil team as their graphic designer. He created many of the wonderful themes, badges, ads, and other graphics used throughout the site that you probably know and love already. Today we're discussing World Ember, the big old competitive writing event the World Anvil hosts every December, in TJ's own experiences and advice as a veteran. Okay, so with that, there's the simplest question. How are you feeling about World Ember this year?
Excited. Really, really excited.
Nice.
I'm super duper hyped. It's my favorite event, as some of you might know. It's it's my favorite event of the year. I love it. It's great.
Oh yeah. We want excitement for that.
Yes.
Excuse me. I do apologize. I'm still coming off a cold a little bit.
Still good.
So I have like that itchy throat thing.
Oh no.
So what is the number one piece of advice you'd give to someone new approaching World Ember?
Just to have fun with it. It's all about expanding your world building. The baseline goal is 10,000 words of brand new world building in your world. It doesn't have to be limited to one world either. If you have multiple settings on the go, you can write across all of them. But yeah, just have fun with it. Write what you want to write. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the people who hit burnout the most often are those who try and make it more of a competitive thing than just having
Oh
fun
yeah.
and getting words down. We don't want burnout.
No,
Like some of
burnout's
you
not
probably have
fun.
seen like after summer camp, especially a lot of people just go.
Yep,
You gotta have fun with it. It's important.
absolutely.
So I guess in that vein, speaking of mistakes, are there any you've made in previous World Embers, and what did you learn from them?
Absolutely. Tons of mistakes. Yeah, and burnout was a massive one of them. Um, and yeah, that's why I gave that tip in the first bit, is to do it for yourself and do it to have fun. Is
It's got to learn
that's
from
where I
experience,
made
right?
mistakes before, is to just um, do things because I feel like, oh, I should write this article because it's important, but I don't really feeling it, but I should write that one. Or, oh, I can see that there's a special category for vehicles and I should get an entry in there so I have a chance of winning a prize or something, but I don't really feel like writing a vehicle, but I should do it. Um, that was one contributing factor to a lot of mistakes and burnout. Um, the other one, on probably one of the earlier World Ember events, is that I got very excited, as I alluded to, very enthusiastic, had all these ideas and all these stubs that you need to reset the date for if you've made them before December. Just a quick reminder, because everyone forgets at least one. Um, and you have all these ideas, and then World Ember starts, and everybody's hyped, and you go out there, and it's like, oh my god, I'm going to do everything, and then I'm going to work on this one, and then I'm going to go like, oh, and I need to make articles linked to this article, so I'm going to make like 10 stubs just for this single article, but then I need to write those. So you kind of just world build explosion, and then you end up with a mess. At least in my case, you end up with a mess, and then you have lots of tiny little random world building articles that are all a bit nothingy, which sounds fine at the time because your word count and article count goes through the roof, which is really fun in World Ember because the minimum goal is 10,000 words. But then there's the bit afterwards. And that's when the burnout comes in, because you finally reach the finish line and you sit there amidst your pile of stuff and you go, well, this is a mess. And then you've got to try and tidy up and expand it and polish it. And it's such a huge, daunting task because you've got 10,000 words worth to polish. And it's like, oh no, what did I make? So don't do that. Don't make a mess. Chill, take it slow, polish as you go. Yeah, find what ultimately find what works best for you. But yeah, that was my mistake. Learn from it as you wish.
Yeah, I see a lot of people. I fall into that same trap too, where it's like you're kind of like trying to like just go for the word count and only the word count and nothing. A lot of people do the same thing with summer camp, where they just do the article thing, just get that out. It's like
Mm,
so many people, and you know some of them too, who like in the months after summer camp and World Ember, like, oh God, I have to polish everything. Just like
mm,
just polish as you go. Seriously, yeah, polish as you go. Definitely, you want to do that. It will help
yeah,
you so much in the long run, even if it may slow you down in the meantime. Absolutely
yeah.
worth it.
But this is it. I mean, you've got the entire month, or mostly the entire month, unless you count out some time for holidays, etc. Um, you can go at your own pace. You can do like more on one particular day than others, or you can do a set amount each day. It really doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some people like to rush and get it all out the way to start with, and that works really well for them, but it might not work well for everybody. So it's all about just trying different things and stopping yourself before you get that burnout, and just being aware of how you're feeling about things, and pacing yourself and just having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it can help too to talk to people when you're starting to feel that burnout. Like,
Mm.
like you may not notice it, but other people talking to you may kind of notice. Like, if you see your friends burning out, like say something, like say like, hey, I think you're getting close there. Like, you want to help each other here.
Yeah.
So in that vein of like mistakes, or what are you doing differently this year, if anything?
Differently this year. I want to, whether I will or not is another question, but I would like to focus more on quality over quantity, and try and only do what I want to do. I still have a big old list of old stubs that I feel like I should write, and I will write them eventually,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still that word of should. I know Danny Adventures is very has a very keen eye or a keen ear for the word should, and bonks me on the head every time that I say should. So thank you, Danny, because I'm now very aware of it. Um, so I'm going to try and make sure that I'm having lots of fun little articles to work on. And as I said earlier, polish them as I go and create things that I'm proud of, rather than just spew out world building that's just there. And it's like, here, I did it, give me a badge. It's like, I don't want to do that. I want to be like being considerate about what I'm making and why I'm making it, and having things that I can actually feel like I can show people and be proud of, and be like, hey, I made this and it's really cool. I'm going to nerd out about my own world building, which is not something that I do very often, and I want to do more of it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's like if you're not like a fan of your own work, it's kind of like, what are you, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a little
Incredible. I
more
mean, the
complicated than
hype is
that, obviously, but
enthusiastic. Hype is contagious, and enthusiasm is contagious.
yeah,
And if you're excited about your own world and your own project, other people are gonna be excited about what you're creating, and because it's just gonna rub off on people, and people are gonna be curious about what you're so excited on, and want to know more about your world, which I think is great.
yeah, absolutely. It's always fun to see like new people popping and them being excited about their worlds, and like definitely I've noticed that, like getting excited about their stuff because they're excited about their stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's great. It's great. Um, so do you have like anything in specific you're planning to write about this year?
I would. There's two big articles that I want to tackle. One of them is a species of crow-like people, so it'll be a species article called Corvidans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited to write about them. I don't have a huge amount of details. I'm currently doing some artwork for the article, which is one thing that you can prepare in advance, is images and artwork. So I'm just polishing up on a bit of artwork for that, which I'm feeling pretty confident about. And the other one, which lore-wise is very interesting, is it's going to be called the Common Calendar, and it's from a rival empire, if you will, on the other side of the planet, and they have a different calendar system to what the standard one was previously, and they want it to make their one the new standard, but it works a little differently. And rather than, they're kind of changing their strategy a bit, so rather than trying to take over the world and spread their empire by conquest, they are now going to try and do it via education, and proving that they have like better resources and better tools to help people do to live their lives and do their professions. So they're kind of propaganda through education
They're going for
technique of
the civilization
world
science
conquest.
victory.
Yeah. Yes. So there's that. Prepared the artwork for that. So it's going to be an interesting article to write up when I get there.
Sounds interesting. Yeah, like calendars are an interesting thing people don't think a lot about. It's like in our
Mm,
current world, like we have like the Gregorian is like the standard like everywhere, but it didn't always used to be that way.
yeah.
It's a lot of wild things people had done beforehand.
Yep.
Like look at the freaking like a lot of the Mesoamerican civilizations had wild calendar system. Like,
Mm.
it's a lot.
Yeah. Someone in the chat says, "Do I make my own artwork?" Yes, I do.
TJ does a lot of great artwork.
Thank you.
Of course.
I have a lot of fun with it.
So with your specific plans, like you gotta put them into something. And recently you released a world building planner. Is there anything you would
Yes.
like to talk about with that? Like what motivated you to create this planner?
Yeah. So actually, I was inspired by a lot of people who've already made their own kind of spreadsheets to keep track of their word count, stuff like that. This year, I decided I wanted to make my own and have a go at that. And I started just adding things that would be useful for more world building things. So I know a lot of people use a word count tracker for things like NaNoWriMo. Yeah, just to keep track of the writing side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make this more world building friendly so that I can keep track of ideas or all of the massive list of stubs that I have and which ones I need to reset because I always forget to press the button and reset the date. So,
It's just in the corner
yeah,
there, you know.
I know, but I forget. I get excited and then I push it and then it's like, it doesn't count. So yeah, having somewhere where I can keep track of those ideas and a big old reminder to reset the stubs is good. And yeah, just a place to keep track of things, generate ideas. The other thing that I quite like about it is I built a little quest board. So it takes a look at my list of things or your list of things if you choose to use
Mm-hmm.
the free sheet. It'll look on there and it'll say like, okay, you've marked this one as quite a high priority. Maybe you should be working on that one next. Or this one seems to be like quite a small article. Maybe you could like just do a quick win and finish that. But also, I love how writers who take part in NaNoWriMo often talk about little rewards that they give themselves to keep themselves motivated and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So there's customizable lists that you can do on there. You can kind of like set your own little treats and rewards on there for finishing tasks. And there's motivational messages to keep going. It's a bit fun, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, like planning is like a huge part about getting through World Ember. Like a summer camp, you have the proms, and it's like kind of like I don't want to say obvious, but it's much more clear where you go there.
Yeah,
And like a lot of
it's
people work
straightforward.
really, really well in that environment because
Mm,
like you have it all laid out for you basically. But with World Ember, like there's it's a little more difficult for a lot of people without having that. Like it's just
yeah.
like a blank canvas. Like a lot of people will just go like, oh, there's so much blank space here. What do I do? Where do I
So you
start?
can make anything.
Yeah, that's the best part, and it's the worst part for some
Yeah.
people too. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you've crossed in chat saying the planner is very good. And they had a lot of fun setting it up. So it's
Thank you,
nice.
Cross.
But yeah, like yeah, definitely recommend. I put the link in chat there. It's on Gumroad. I'll pop it in
Thank you.
again just because I can. And with that blank canvas and with planning things, you still need inspiration to write through things. So it's not something we can easily control, it just kind of comes and goes. It's kind of like a cat in that sense. It just like shows up like, oh, inspiration, nice. And it'll
Yeah.
just walk out. Um, how much do you plan ahead and how detailed are your plans?
Not wow. So far as it goes,
Mm-hmm.
is I have my world building planner, and in there I chuck in all of the stubs, which I can tell you took a long time. I was daunted by the amount of stubs that I had on World Anvil. I'm going to need to press that reset button on all of them at some
Yeah,
point.
like you've been around since 2017, so I imagine there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of stuff. So that's a good way for me to personally start. It works well for me is to see what I already have on my kind of existing to-do list, and then just like maybe highlight the ones that really appeal to me. As I mentioned earlier, it's about doing the things that are fun, and you don't want to be feeling like you should do all of this stuff. So I'll look through my list of unwritten stubs, pick a few ideas, maybe highlight those to sort of draw my attention. And throughout the years, like as the year goes by, I often jot down little random notes that pop into my head, and I'll put those into the planner as well. They might not, so they might not even exist as a stub or a note or anything on World Anvil. They'd just be like an idea of random stuff that's inspired me. So basically, just have a look at those, um, see what see what's good. As far as like how much I actually plan, I just have like a big list, and I like having a big list to pick and choose from because I have tried making plans before in previous World Embers and other events too, and I can spend like months and months planning like a mastermind and with a big blueprint and red string and all that kind of crazy stuff. And then World Ember comes on, it just gets like yeeted off to the side. Like none of that happened. And I know from my list already that I will probably do maybe like 5 of those things on the list. But the thing is that once I start, then the good ideas start coming. Um, so, like I mentioned, 2 already that I know I'm going to write, which is the Corvidon species and the Common Calendar article, which I don't know what template to use for that one, by the way. But I know that from that, I will probably get inspiration and ideas for a huge amount of other articles, especially when looking at other people's work. When everyone else is taking part in World Ember, everyone's going to be sharing their work, sharing their amazing stuff. It's hugely inspiring, and we get to see everyone's different take on their own world building in their own genres, and it sparks like a billion ideas. So, whilst I do have a list, and I do plan a bit, and maybe I'll like write one sentence to remind myself what that is. That's about as far as it goes planning wise.
Yeah, yeah, it can be difficult with that because again, inspirations like that cat, it just kind of walks in and out on its own whims, you know? Like
Yeah.
sometimes it'll be in the living room, like, oh, it's exactly why I planned to go today. Other times it'll be like, I don't know, in the kitchen. You're like, I didn't want to go to the kitchen today. I don't know why you would avoid the kitchen for a day. That was a weird, you know what I mean, though? Like
Yes.
it just goes around. You can't really decide where it goes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's good to have like some framework at least. And again, this is different for everyone. Some people do
Yeah.
work really, really well with like a full detailed list. Others work better just pantsing it.
Yep.
Like it seems like we are similar in the sense that we do like some ideas and then just kind of go off from there.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's a lot. And it's how often? Oh, no, you already answered that, so we'll skip that one. I was gonna ask how often those plans work out, but you said like never. So yeah, that's how it tends to go.
Yeah.
So we will take some time now for audience questions, if any of you have anything.
Yes. Keep questions. A planned pantsing. Yes, definitely. It's kind of like planning it and then winging it.
Planning to wing it.
Yeah.
Plan sake. Wait another moment here. So I guess we'll ask while we're waiting for that. Is there any particular worlds you're excited to see people write in this world, Ember?
Good question. I mean, there's my usual favorites, which is all the beans in the lodge. Um, that little group of friends that we're always reading worlds from.
Mhm.
But I'm excited to see newcomers in World Amber. Every big event that World Anvil hosts, there's always someone who is joining for the first time, and they're a bit nervous and they're a bit shy, but then they end up seeing everyone else sharing their stuff and they feel encouraged to yeah, share their work on Twitter or in the Discord, and suddenly you find a new person, and it's like, where did you come from? Where have you been all my life? Like, this is so inspiring, and you just like end up being so inspired by this person. You have new worlds to follow, and it's
It's great.
fantastic.
It's great. Like
So
my
I'm always excited to see what kind of new worlds pop up. It's not just new world builders; it's new
Mhm.
worlds from existing writers. People get new ideas and they want to try a new setting or a new genre, or they've got a new RPG campaign, and new things pop up, and it's like, whoa, this is cool. I'm going to follow it.
Yeah,
It
World
also
Ember
means
was a
that my
fantastic time
notifications
for.
just go wild and I end up having like a billion, but oh well.
It's only so much time in the day,
Yeah.
in the month. Okay, so we do have a question here from Fleece Comrade Maps. I wouldn't mind hearing what y'all think about maps.
I love maps.
Maps are good.
Maps are
Maps are good.
amazing. I love maps because they're a great way of sparking ideas for me. Um, if I have a map and some places on there, even if I don't have places on there, just looking at a place, it just kind of gets the cogs whirring. Just being like, oh, I wonder what's like in that particular region over here, or there's an interesting geographical landmark. Who would have built there or visited there, or maybe it was used for a strategic battle or something like that. It
Hmm.
just sparks all the ideas.
Yeah.
What about you?
Um, I got a little bit of a hot take about maps. So the
Mm.
big advice you usually hear is when you start a world, don't make a map. Wrong. Make a map when you start your world. It's so good. But I don't mean like make a super detailed, I know where everything is. Don't do that. Make like a sketch of your map when you start your world because it does do so much for inspiration. It helps a lot to know where this place is in relation to this place and where things are just around in general, like knowing distances in general or just
Mm.
knowing the spatial region of things. And then also, again, like helps you get ideas like you wouldn't have thought of just writing. Like when you see it, like, oh, this doesn't make sense. There should be something here. Like, how do these people get water? There's none of that near them, you know?
Yeah,
Like a lot of stuff like that. Maps are fantastic. Like they help inform your world building. And your world building will inform the map in turn. It's kind of like this cycle in a sense. It's great.
definitely. Maps.
Maps.
Maps are
So we
great.
got another question. How would a newcomer like me set themselves apart or be heard in Discord? There are usually so many people sharing their work that it feels like your article won't be looked at.
Oh yeah. So there are a few things you can do. The best one is to just be yourself and engage in the community. Um, you're kind of wanting to aim for familiarity, build trust. Because the more familiar you are, the more people will see your name. And when you then decide to post in the showcase channel or anywhere really, and you feel like it might get lost in the flood of everybody else posting, because they've seen your name before and because you are known to them and you're a friendly face or a friendly name, people will notice that in that stream, and they'll be like, oh, hold on, so and so's just posted, I recognize them. Actually, I want to see what they've done because they're really nice and they're always friendly and chatty. I want to see what they've done. The other way that you can get more people to see your work without spamming it is to engage in other people's work. And I know that takes a little bit of time. Even if you spend literally 3 minutes in the morning or before you go to bed, just check through the Discord or check through your notifications and just pick like even just like 2 or 3 articles. Just have a read through, a genuine read through. You don't have to like go super deep in depth, but you're not supposed to like just scroll to the bottom and click like because that's not fun, not good. Read it properly, but leave a genuine comment. Leave a like if you liked it. Follow them if you're interested in seeing more of that content. But most importantly, just leave a comment. Say what bits you liked, even if it's about the aesthetics of the world or the article. Um, and the best thing is to ask a question because then the person feels inclined to reply to you, and that builds a bit more familiarity and a bit more trust. Often as not, even if you like someone's world or follow their world, they will feel inclined to go, "Oh, someone liked my work. Oh my god, someone followed me." At least I do, and I will go and check out who followed me or who liked my stuff. I'm like, "Oh, that's really nice." The other thing you can do also is to say thanks on someone's profile. So if someone else has liked your stuff, you can just be like, go onto their World Amble profile and say like, "Hey, thanks so much."
Profile one's
It
a
does
good point.
wonders for it does wonders for just building that familiarity, becoming a known member of the community. So when you do post stuff, it gets seen.
Yeah, like engaging with people definitely is the biggest one. I
Mm.
think a number of people tried doing over past years is feedback trades. Like
Yeah,
people have done that in the past. I'm thinking about trying to do an organized one this year. And that's a
that
really
would be
good
cool.
way to get a lot of people because it's like a framework that like forces you to kind of interact with other people. Basically,
Yeah,
people just throw their articles into this hat and be like, I need feedback. Do you need feedback? We share feedback.
yeah,
It's nice. It's a great way to discover new people that way too. It can help you get out of that ice of being unused to reaching out and commenting on people because like, you have that framework you're
mm,
supposed to. Um, yeah. So feedback trades definitely. There doesn't have to be an official one. You could also just like say in chat, "Hey, I want to do a feedback trade," and
yeah,
someone's probably going to also need feedback and want to reach out.
absolutely. Yep.
Okay. But yeah, comments are the biggest thing easily. Like
Mm.
there's just so much. Like everyone loves seeing comments on their stuff. Like, oh, someone liked it and actually said why they liked it. Oh my god.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
like
like I value comments way more than likes or
yeah,
even follows. Like, and I
yeah.
really value comments.
Comments are
They,
so good. They're so nice.
they
They
are
can make your day.
golden. Yeah.
Really do. Okay, so there's some other advice from people in chat. Like Tina mentioned that sticking to one channel in the Discord can help. Mentioning that when I first rapped during summer camp, it was so helpful to stick to only the competition channel to not be overwhelmed and grow relationships with people. That's some really good advice. Like definitely, like if you're overwhelmed by how many different channels there are, like definitely sticking to one can be really great.
Yeah.
Another like little thing people may not mention too much is ask questions yourself too. Like if you go into the world building
Mm.
chats or channels when you're like struggling with some kind of question in your world, like how do I do this? Like what do I do with these people? How would you make armor out of leaves? Or how would you make clip? This is one I asked a while ago that got a lot of talk. You're just asking questions because that can get people interested too. Because it can be
Yeah.
a little hook, but can also get like help. You can talk to interesting people, get ideas you wouldn't have had otherwise. And also, of course, if you're gonna do that, help other people too.
Yeah.
Like you should help others too. Like that helps a lot too. If you go into those chats and just like help people, it's great. You don't have to always ask for help yourself. Like, yeah.
It's a great tip.
Okay. So you have Shywood Fox asking, "What about the new bulletin boards?" And it's fine that you had to step away. No worries, Shy. The new
It's a
bulletin
good point.
boards.
I haven't actually used the new bulletin board system yet on my world, but I've seen a lot of world builders setting up bulletin boards and forums on their worlds. People have vastly different takes on how they use it. Some people like to use it for um, out of world and out of character talk, and they want to use it as like um, to talk about things that are work in progress or to have a place to discuss ideas with other people or for their fans to come in and suggest ideas.
Mhm.
Um, but a lot of people are also using it for in-world discussions where you can have like Q&As with the characters of that world, or you can role play as a character and interact in that world. So it really depends on how each different world has their bulletin boards set up. But they're a great way of um, generating ideas for World Ember. Obviously, the words, I'm pretty certain the words don't count in bulletin boards towards your World Ember progress, so they will need to still be in articles. But using those boards as a talking point to generate ideas can be fantastic and a great way to include other people in your world building process and make them feel like a part of your world. Yeah, I think they're awesome.
Yeah, no, I definitely recommend interacting in those like worlds, because it's not just like the authors in there; it's other readers too.
Mm.
We've seen some really cool stuff. Like Dylan is here, did something really cool. He just started yesterday. He has like an in-world lecture that's going on, and he encourages people to create a character in universe. So you have to go to the heroes thing and set up a character. This is like their whole naming system, like he has, and then interact with the lecture as if you are sitting there as a character. Which is it's cool. I like that a lot.
Cool.
It's really I love that.
Cool.
I used the discussion boards during last month. I did an ARG kind of thing, and I had a ghost was haunting the world, so I had people interact with the ghost in the forums. He was like the ghost of like a forum troll from like 2007. So it was like
Nice.
he's doing dumb forum troll stuff there. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff people can do. You can do traditional role play like between characters that you've made, between characters of the world. Meta stuff's good too. Like there's general discussions. A lot of people have those. Even offering feedback. Even like just doing something like saying like, "Hey, I found a typo here. There's a weird formatting thing, or this doesn't work on my screen." It's fantastic. Also, really valuable. Please do tell people if you find issues like that, especially like this
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
work on my screen, especially that, because like we don't want things to not work on some people's devices. Like
Yeah.
we want everyone to be able to access things. But yeah, interaction overall, best way to get more people to look at your stuff. Because if you don't
Definitely.
like talk to people, they won't know you're there.
Yep.
So let's see. Secondhand mentions also lots of people have personal or smaller discords that have little communities. These then also chat in World Anvil and make it seem like not such a huge place. Yes, I definitely recommend that for like a lot of your favorite worlds probably have Discord servers. So joining some of those and chatting with people can help too, because most people in those servers are also on World Anvil. So, say, I have one here. Subtle plug. No.
Plug it. Plug it.
I'll get the link. Fine. I have to actually have links ahead of time. I really should.
But yeah, having those little communities are fantastic for not feeling so overwhelmed by huge communities, and you still get your work seen by people who are enthusiastic about your stuff. The other thing that you can do is to try and find accountability partners, even if it's just one or maybe two, or maybe a whole Discord of like-minded individuals. But even if you just have like one or two people as your accountability friends, you can kind of be friendly competitive with each other, which means that you're not trying to be better than one another at all. You're kind of just using that accountability as a means to motivate each other and lift each other up to achieve your goals. And that can help a lot.
Yeah, like word sprints are a really great way to do that. Like
Yes,
World Anvil's
absolutely.
Discord does have a word sprint channel, which is great.
Mm.
I, I don't like they added the bot to that. That's a little. I feel like
I
the
haven't
bots
seen the
kind of
bot yet.
made the interaction worse there a little bit, but like there's still people like doing things together in there.
Yeah.
I would recommend maybe like just going in there and saying, "Hey, who wants to do a word sprint?" Maybe doing it manually, so it's more personal that way.
Yeah.
Even if you just have friends outside of World Anvil who are doing work in general, you don't have to use the word sprint. You can say, "Hey, you want to work on sliding together? We'll just take a couple minutes, focus on this thing." Basically, a word sprint without this the word focus. So they can work on their
Yeah.
project. You work on writing. That's also a great thing I've done. I've been doing that lately, which is great. It helps a lot. Accountability is huge.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm reading through stuff, catching up. So I think we're caught up. Okay, we have any more questions? Another thing I will note about interacting with people, I have what I call the World Club in my Discord, which is it's a World Anvil book club. Basically, it's like we'll choose an article every week and then read that, and then we all agree to like go comment on the article and interact with the article. So that's another thing that could help with interaction if you're looking to do that. I'm hoping to start that up again here soon. So it's been on a little bit of a break because I've been sick. But yeah. We got a new follow from Fleece Comrade Maps. Thank you.
Nice.
Would seem we don't have any more questions here, and that's good. Okay, so we will go on to final thoughts then. Do you have any final thoughts? Any like parting words or wisdom or?
Yeah, I mean, definitely just if I want to embellish one thing in particular, it's just to keep that burnout in check. Burnout is real and it sucks. And it can last a long time. Burnout is not always a thing that just lasts like a week afterwards and you can't write because you got writer's block and it feels rubbish. It can last for months. I know. I used to be in a cycle of doing the major World Anvil challenges like Summer Camp and World Ember and going all in on those and going absolutely crazy and super duper productive, get all the stuff out and really push hard, past my limit and just more. And then all the time in between December, or should I say like January and July starting, would be full of burnout. And I would feel rubbish about my world. I would hate my world. All the things were poop. I wouldn't want to make anything. It was not fun. And the same goes for the other side of summer camp. I'd be like, okay, I'll myself up, brush myself off summer camp, let's get back into things, we can do this. And then the same thing would happen again. And then after summer camp finished, that time between like August and December starting would be full of more burnout. And it would be a rinse to repeat cycle of poopiness. So don't go there. Burnout is real. Do this challenge for you. Pace yourself. Rest. Don't worry about what other people are doing. If you get stuck, just ask for help, ask for some feedback. But most importantly, have fun with it. And yeah, it's okay. Just do what
If
you
you
want to
can't
do.
even, if it's too much for you to even go for 10,000, that's okay.
Yeah.
No one's gonna like come after
like,
you.
Exactly. Even if you wrote like 100 words more during the entire month, that's still 100 words more than you had at the beginning of the month.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Health always comes first.
The badges are shiny, but your health won't be if you only go after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. World Ember is in what, 9-ish days? 10 days?
10 or 9 days. It's not certain exactly when it's going to start because certain years they've started it like a day before. Depends on when they'll do the stream and stuff. So 9 or 10 days soon. World Ember is coming.
Got TJ's links in the chat there. His website, World Anvil author page, and the Gumroad link to the planner if you need help planning stuff during World Ember or even just generally throughout the year. Like, it's not just for World Ember.
Yep, you can use it for pretty much anything.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by. Like, it's nice to like get that insight, and hopefully that helps some of you there. Fun. Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll pop off here. Thanks for everyone for stopping by here. Hopefully we'll do more interview stuff in the future. I'm looking at some stuff there. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. See y'all then.
Bye.